I'm speeding on mine now.
I'm speeding.
Are you
Oh,
speeding?
I thought you said speaking.
Okay, cool.
I seen it.
No, it's
Okay.
speeding. This is film lingo. I haven't said that word in a while.
Wait, can I
Okay,
clap with my
I don't think
teeth?
we need to clap because
Oh, it actually picks up like it went really.
did, okay. Welcome back to another episode of Pineapple Headache, everyone. We
Yeah.
are we are nearing the end of 2020. It is officially the holiday season after Thanksgiving. We are in the holiday spirit, and I have another story regarding COVID.
Woo! But like, who doesn't though? Once again, I have to say, did you really live through 2020 if you'd never got a COVID test? Like, you gotta experience the whole thing, you know?
Like, on the week of, was it the week of Thanksgiving? It was the week before
Yes.
Thanksgiving.
It was
Okay, so
the
like,
weekend right before.
okay. So the week before Thanksgiving, I was feeling a little under the weather. I was waking up with a sore throat, and I thought that it was a, what do you call? Like, you know, when you wake up in the morning when it's really cold and your throat is just sore and dry?
Yeah, or it's like, I always assume that it just means I'm like thirsty or something. Because I mean, however many
Yeah.
hours you're sleeping, you're not drinking water, so.
Right. So I thought that was the issue. Like I was just feeling like that. But I ended up having a sore throat and I was like, oh, what's going on? So I was just feeling a little under the weather at that time. And then that weekend, me, my sister, Madison, and my boyfriend, Dion, were going to go on a hike up Griffith Observatory because we wanted to get some fresh
And
air. And,
exercise.
yeah, because we're cooped up in our homes all day. So, like, why not go hang out in quote unquote nature that's in the middle of a metropolitan area?
Yes.
So, we go on the hike. For me and Madison, it was difficult.
We
like,
were
it was,
very out of shape, but I think a concerning level of out of shape.
yeah. So, like, the hike wasn't that hard. Like, it was like, what, like a mile and a half?
Okay, going up, it was like 0.7 miles, like less than 1 mile, like one way. So, but it was the going uphill. We were struggling, like
We were
hardcore.
struggling. And this is the hike up to Griffith Observatory. So like if you've ever been that on that hike, it is kind of steep. Walking up, like my calves were just not prepared
And my
for it, nor
lungs.
was my yeah, nor my heart or my lungs.
I was like, will I just like, will this just give me COVID? Just this amount of exercise? Like, this
Well,
alone might reduce my lung capacity.
funny you say that. So we get
Yeah.
to the top, and of course it's nice and relaxing, and it's all fine and dandy because
And it
we're
was
like, oh,
hot.
we're waiting for Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone to roll up in their vintage convertible to dance around like in La La Land.
That was just you. That was not me.
Oh, I was also waiting for Andrew Garfield to just show up looking all crusty and gross and stand under the Isaac Newton statue. I think is what happened.
Is that also in La La Land?
No, no, no. It's in that movie Under the Silver Lake. It's a pretty weird
Oh.
movie. But I
Yeah, I
reference it a
didn't see
lot
that.
every time we go to Griffith.
Yes.
Okay, anyway, so like we're just there chilling. We come home and I'm like feeling fine. I still have like a sore throat, but I'm like, okay, whatever. Like maybe I just need to flush it out of my system. So I'm just chilling. Next day comes, I still feel a sore throat. I take a nap with my boyfriend, right? I
Cute.
wake up. Thank you. I wake up and I feel warm, and I'm like, what's going on?
Isn't that
So
what
I
it feels
go
like to be in love?
warm. I
Yeah.
was. I mean, that's why it took me a while to like to wonder if I had a fever because when you cuddle with someone, of course it's going to be warm because when you're like with another body, but also
Yeah.
since it's your significant other, it's just, the power of love just
Yeah.
warming you
It thaws a
together. Yeah.
frozen heart, so there's some heat
Yeah.
involved.
Oh, yes. Thaws the frozen heart. Yes. Thank you for that frozen reference. So I go to the bathroom, like, let me just check my temperature. Like, I don't think it'll be a bad thing. Check my temperature. It's a 101.
Like the
And I'm like,
freeway.
oh, like the freeway. I check my temperature again. It's still 101. And I'm like, oh my God. I got to my boyfriend. I'm like, I have a fever, and he looks so concerned. He's like, oh my god. No, he didn't say oh my god, but he's like, okay. So we're all
Silent, oh my god. Implied, oh my god.
right when I find out I have a fever, my sister gets home, which my sister is a nursing major, so I was like, time to consult the medical professional in the room. And so she
Yes.
goes, gets all her nursing equipment, stethoscope, oximeter, whatever you call that, checks everything.
Oh, was that the
She's
finger
like,
one?
yeah, so she's checking all that. We're all doing all that. And like everyone starts calling like people that they live with or who they've been with, and they're like, oh yeah, so I've been exposed to someone who is sick. We don't know if it's COVID, but we're gonna check and see. So like my sister's notifying everyone. I call my mom because she's also a medical professional. So I'm like, I have a fever. What do I
Funny
do?
story.
And she's like, are you feeling anything? Like, what are your symptoms? Blah, blah, blah. And long story short, I basically quarantined myself. Yeah, so my sister slept on the couch
Aw.
until we got COVID tested. I texted Madison. It was like a beautiful parallel. And
Yeah.
I just texted, I have a fever. And the message I got was, oh my God.
Because I was just like, are you for real right now?
And it was also like my boyfriend noted, he's like, isn't it poetic that the two of you had a COVID scare within the same month?
Yeah, it's like,
And I'm
imagine, like, I just imagine, like, the max number of days it could go. Like, if I had, like, given you the cold, it would have been, like, the max, like, however long the cold is in your system. It waited till the last second to go from my body to your body. Then your body took the max amount of time possible for it to manifest into symptoms. Or we just managed to get two completely separate colds. Which,
yeah, so
that is also impressive.
well, you kind of skipped to the end because now they know it's a cold.
Oh,
But,
sorry. It was COVID.
Yeah, you took away all the suspension.
Oh my God, just
the
edit it
suspense I was
out.
trying to build it up.
I'm sorry.
Take
I
that
know when you put the
moment
gun
to
in the
exercise
drawer.
that.
When you put the gun in the drawer, the gun has to go off. Yes, I know this.
So I'm quarantined. Like I don't want to get near anyone. Next day, my mom's like, okay, you need to get tested. Like you have to treat it as if you have COVID because you don't know for sure. So me, my sister, and my boyfriend are going around Los Angeles trying to get tested. And of course, since it was like the holiday season, like everyone wants to get tested because everyone wants to have family gatherings. So there are long lines everywhere. We find a rapid test at a Ralph's. So we go there and we are like, okay, so like we'll do this rapid testing and we'll figure out our results like pretty soon. The pharmacist tells us, he's like, oh, this is not for like COVID testing. Like this isn't for to see if you have COVID. This is the antibody test. And I was like, what is that? And so I just let my sister just kind of take helm of that conversation. And she's like, oh, okay, yeah, we're not going to take this test then. I was like, what? She's like, well, it's an antibody test. So there's an antigen test and an antibody test, which I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
But the antigen test is the one that you want to get to check to see if you have COVID. The antibody test is to check to see, like, after you have COVID, if you've gotten antibodies in your system, which makes you immune to getting COVID again. I was like, oh, good to know. We're learning this now. So
Yeah,
we did get tested.
My uncle and his family got antibody tests just out of pure curiosity. People do it that way too. They'll be like, oh, I could have had it before, so I'll just get an antibody test now, because if I have antibodies, that means I had it at some point.
We didn't get tested that day. So I was like, okay, let me call my doctor. Let me tell her what's going on. So I get on a video call with my doctor. That sounds similar to Madison when she had to have a video call with her doctor. And I tell my doctor everything I've been feeling. And she's kind of on the side of like, it doesn't seem like you have COVID, but we'll get you a COVID test anyway. UCLA Health be pulling through with their COVID test. They scheduled me for a test the next day. I go all the way to Redondo Beach to get it. I park outside for my drive-in COVID test. this nurse comes out in like her gear and everything, swabs my nose, and is like, okay, you'll find your results in less than 24 hours. And I wasn't hearing that because I was still trying to get used to the feeling of being swabbed up my nose again.
Yeah.
But it literally took like 10 seconds, like legit. Did not take that long. No, they just only did one nostril. So she like gave me all the information, and then last minute as she's walking back into the building, I'm like, oh wait, how long does it take to get my results back? She's like, I already told you, it's less than 24 hours. I was like, okay, like I just wanted to be double sure.
They're probably
she was really
just so tired of people.
She was pretty clear though, like she was really big on like, yeah, it's less than 24 hours you get your results, because you know usually when you get tested it takes about like what, like, well, for you it took like
days. Well, Kaiser was saying 3 to 5 days, I guess, is their process. And I remember hearing, I think if you test negative, like, that generally comes back faster than... Or no, I think if it was positive, I think that would come... One of the two is more likely to come back faster. I don't remember which one. But either negative or positive, like, the timeline matters, basically.
Yeah, so I went home. I was like, okay, I got tested. I'm still quarantining for that time. I'm wearing a mask inside my home because I don't want to get my sister sick. So I get my results back at 1 a.m. I thought I would get it like the next morning. I get it at 1 a.m. the same day.
Were you awake?
Well, I guess no, I was already asleep because I sleep early. I've been sleeping earlier in quarantine. So I get my results back. They're negative. And it also tested for the flu because basically what my mom was saying and what my doctor is saying, I could either have COVID, the flu, or a really bad cold. So I got tested for both COVID and the flu, tested negative on both, which meant I just had a really bad cold that probably got worse because I have allergies and also asthma.
And so also we went hiking.
Yeah, so going on that hike like triggered all of that and just made it like that was really bad cold.
Well, because I remember thinking when we were hiking, because I was like, okay, with my body, I'm like, I get it, I'm used to it, but I was like, I don't know, I feel like Christiane probably is more active than me, even if it's just doing at-home exercise or having to go walk and park your car and all that. So I was like, oh, I'm surprised we are struggling the same amount. So then when you told me you had the, like, fever and stuff, I was like, that makes a lot more sense now why your body was not digging the hike. My body, that's just how my body is. But I was like, I think Christiane would be a little bit better than me. That's my theory.
Body... That's just, like, my genes, you know, natural selection. When it comes to that, I could just die from all these...
Hiking?
Not just hiking, but, like, my asthma and my allergies just kind of did, like, a double combo on me and gave me that bad cold. Can you imagine, though, just me being like, oh, what's worse, COVID or the flu?
Yeah,
I mean, COVID, obviously.
The flu is better because it's, like, normal.
I know. But, like,
but we got that when it's flu shots, so that would make me upset.
Yeah, like we got flu shots. So I was like, if I get the flu when I had the flu shot, then do I have a strain of the flu that wasn't in the flu shot that I got?
It means that you are not like other girls. Because you got the special flu.
Yeah, so Madison was texting me being like, my mom and grandma want to know if you got your results back. And I was like, I haven't got my results back and getting tested.
They kept asking me, they were like, has she gotten tested yet? Has she gotten tested yet? I was like, I'm not there. I don't know. And I was like, I don't want to keep texting her, but I have to make it sound like I'm putting an effort, I guess, to appease them.
I know, but like, since it was me as the one who is the potential source of exposure, like everyone was waiting, like my boyfriend was waiting, my sister was waiting, you were waiting, and I was like stressed about it because I'm like, I don't want to test positive because I would feel so bad that
so now you're seeing my perspective from election week, because that was how I felt the whole time.
Yeah, and during that whole thing when I thought I did have COVID because I didn't get tested yet, I thought, bro, what did I do to get COVID? Like, all I really do, aside from the hike, was get food from restaurants for takeout or go to the grocery store. I have tried to be very like on top of social distancing and like staying in my home as much as possible because even though it's been how many months of the pandemic, I COVID is still rampant
Yeah.
outside. So
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go out all the time. So I was
Yeah, and
like,
it's
yo, bro,
like
you're telling me.
it's like also because like we were shit, we were in like the same like quarantine like bubble or whatever they call it. So I was like the only
Mm-hmm.
people who could have given it to you are the people who are now exposed to it. So it would have had to be like one of those like one of us was asymptomatic and
I
gave it to
know.
you or something like that. Which I was just like I don't know. It's so
If
weird.
I tested if I tested positive, I was about to make you, my boyfriend, and my sister play a game of Clue, trying to figure out where the source came from. Like I was about to do a whole Knives Out thing, trying to figure out who
Yeah.
would have given me COVID because I only have four people or three. There's only three people I see, and yeah, it's like you said, it's you, my boyfriend, and the person who lives with me. So
Yeah, and then
I
for me, it's like my grandma, who we both just stay inside all the time. And then her caregiver comes over, and that's it. So it was just like, it would have had to be like very, very, it was like very low chance of that being the case.
yeah, but thankfully it's just a cold.
Yep.
Everything is good. And I was
And
able to cook on Thanksgiving.
wow. And now you're almost fully recovered.
Yeah, I'm just fully recovered. It's just my lingering allergy and asthma symptoms. So
Just
I'm like
take a
taking that
good
on my
whiff
medicine.
of your inhaler.
Yeah, well, after this whole thing, it made my mom realize how weak of an immune system I had. So she priority mailed me a bunch of vitamins and she was like, "You need to start a vitamin regimen." So
What
I'm
about
taking
wait,
vitamin C.
does Katie and Kate they have better immune systems than you? Is this like a
Well, I don't
are
think
you just the
they
weak
don't have
link?
asthma. They don't
Oh.
have, well, I don't think Katie has asthma or allergies. Well, I'm known in the family to have a weaker immune system.
Oh,
So
okay.
if
That's
I
your
got sick, like,
reputation.
that is my reputation in this family. So when I would get sick, like, my mom would be a lot more concerned because she's like, oh my God, her immune system is so bad because she has allergies and asthma. What do I do? And so her nurse instincts really kick in, and she's like, I have to nurse my child back to health. So my mom was like, you need to have a better immune system now. Like you just got to take all these vitamins. So I'm taking all these vitamins now,
Oh, how are they? Do
taking all
they
these
taste good?
pills. Well, they're vitamins, so they're pills. So I take like
Oh.
7 pills a day.
7? Wow, you're like an old person.
Yeah, I know, right?
So now will you be protected?
We'll see. Well, I'm better now, so that's a good
Yeah.
thing. Um,
Yeah.
But yeah, for just Thanksgiving, it was a pretty relaxing Thanksgiving. Like once I figured out I can leave my room, I was like, okay, so I'm gonna cook. I cooked my entire Thanksgiving meal for me and my sister, which was nice because it was a good milestone for me to be like, yes, I am better now. I am capable of doing things. Because one of the things I don't like when I'm sick is that people have to take care of you. I'm just a very independent person, so I just prefer to not have people be waiting at my hand and foot to like get my food, bring me stuff. So I have the freedom to do stuff and take care of other people.
Aw.
Yeah. How was your Thanksgiving? Were
Mine
you
was chill.
grateful
We
for
just what
a
was I
not a
grateful?
COVID scare
Yes, I
or
was
a
grateful
negative
for that.
result?
Yes, I was grateful for that because then I was able to accompany my mom on her errands on Wednesday to get food and desserts and all that. We, like I talked about before, we just had a lot of takeout. We got sliced turkey breast from a restaurant. That was our turkey because
Nice.
we're just I don't know. Every time I eat turkey at like Thanksgiving, I just kind of have a moment of like I'm just very okay with this being a once a year thing. I don't know. It's not my meat of choice, but that could also be because I've never had a home cooked, really well seasoned one, so that could be part of it. Though I did see on YouTube, I was watching a YouTube video earlier, and I saw somebody put apples and lemon in the turkey, and I was gonna ask you what you thought of that. You can put like apples in the oven at that temperature for that long. Also, just sounds.
I don't know about an apple, but I did shove a lemon into a chicken to make a roast, and that worked
like
out really
well.
because like
do you like cut it?
yeah, like no. So what I did is use a toothpick and poke holes into it. So imagine it as like a ventilator. So the juices, you shove the lemon into the meat, poke the holes, and when it's cooking, the juices will evaporate into the skin of the chicken or the meat of the chicken.
That's like a lot of science. I think they just had sliced apples, maybe. I need to go watch that video again, but I was like, oh.
I don't know.
Everybody be putting stuff in turkeys.
But a lemon makes sense because there is like lemon pepper, you know?
Yeah. I was just like, this is very involved and beyond my cooking skills, so.
Oh, good for you. Yeah, I still had a nice.
Yeah, I had a nice takeout, lots of dessert, and I've literally just been eating leftovers all week of just various food. Like today I just finished these, like I just finished, we had an order of pancit last Thursday from Goldilocks. I just finished it today for lunch. We still have stuff from Porto's because my family went to Porto's again over the weekend. So then we have more stuff from Porto's. And yeah, I literally am just like leftovers only. I don't have to like go grocery shopping for a while.
Yeah, I still have a bunch of turkey left. That's the only leftover I have. It's
Is
just
it just
turkey.
in your freezer?
No.
How much do you have
in
left?
My fridge. I don't know. I didn't check.
Well, now it's been a week.
Yeah.
The expiration date is approaching for leftovers.
Yeah. It'll be fine. Yeah, that's my Thanksgiving. I feel like the days prior to Thanksgiving were a lot more eventful with my COVID adventure, but it is what it is.
Quote of the year.
So the more important topic I wanted to talk about, that the thing that is sweeping the nation, the world,
every year at the beginning of December.
Whoever uses Spotify, we have to talk about our Spotify rap playlist.
If you have Apple Music, sorry about it.
Yeah, I don't know why you have Apple Music. I love Spotify.
Yes, I use Spotify so much, even though my student discount, which for those who don't know, student Spotify premium is only $5 a month, and you get Hulu and Showtime with it. So this is not an ad. I was not sponsored. I just think that's the best deal I've ever participated in my life. But so I just like to tell people about it.
Spotify can sponsor us if they would like.
Or like here is my free advertising. Just get it if you are a current student and have a student email. Just do it.
Yeah. So our Spotify rap playlist.
Yes. Chaos.
As we all know, a lot of people think that it's not very accurate.
Yeah, I would say that I think personally, like the top 5 stuff for me this year, I think was pretty accurate. Especially when we get into the specifics of that, my impressive statistic with the top artists. But I think the top 100, like I just feel like it's literally stuff I listened to from January to like May, and like nothing after that. Like, I don't know if it's just that I use Spotify more in the first half of the year than like the second half of the year, but like it's all these songs from all these playlists that I made and primarily listened to like over like 10 months ago, and like nothing else after that.
Yeah, I don't know how else to explain the algorithm. Yeah, let's just go into
Should we like take playlist. Turns being like, here's my rundown of like my overalls?
Yes, yeah, you can go first.
Oh, okay. Let me pull up my statistics on my phone. What is the order that's for? So overall thing, let's just start with the big stuff. So my number 1 top artist, unsurprisingly, was Taylor Swift, because I became a Swiftie this year. Everybody pretty much knows that about now, because I've been very annoying about it. My next top artist was Paramore, U2, Of Monsters and Men, Hayley Kiyoko, which honestly I feel like I barely listened to them because I listened to so much Taylor. My top songs were Getaway Car by Taylor Swift, Like a River Runs by Bleachers, which is ironic because Jack Antonoff from Bleachers produces a ton of Taylor Swift's music. And then songs 3 through 5 were The Archer, Cruel Summer, and Lover, all from Taylor Swift's album last year, Lover. Overall, I listened to 56,927 minutes of music this year. Oh, and then for Getaway Car, my top song, I streamed it 153 times. So, that's cool. Oh, and then my stat that I've been flexing was I made it into the top 0.01% of Taylor Swift listeners, which is like the top, like, I don't know, I think like 5,000 people or something. I saw the math. And then, because I spent 25,207 minutes of the year listening to just Taylor Swift. Yeah, so my top 100 is mostly Taylor Swift, but also, like, songs from, like, YA novel movie adaptation soundtracks. Because I made a playlist of them in the beginning of the year, and then, so it's just a lot of that, and just other songs from other playlists I had, and then also a lot of songs from Mean Girls, the musical, because Christiane and I saw it live on Broadway in December last year. So for, I guess, literally for just maybe like the first 2 or 3 months of the year, I was listening to it a lot, but I guess that was enough to get it onto my top 100, so that surprised me because then Folklore, you know, everybody's favorite Taylor album of the year, that did not make my top 100 at all. So I don't know what happened. But so that is basically what my Wrapped is. How about you?
Great. I just want to add on that I think YA movie soundtracks are really good.
Yes, they're so good, even though the movies are not.
The movies, like, most of the movies are not good, but the soundtracks
They slap so hard. Like, honestly, every superhero movie out there, like, you are not getting the vibes with your music. Like, these, like Divergent, Hunger Games, like, that stuff has the music vibes that you need, that you are not giving me.
Safe and Sound by...
Yes, oh my god.
The Civil Wars.
Oh god, that was, like, that one. I have a lot of songs from, specifically Divergent and Catching Fire soundtracks.
My Spotify Wrapped. Well, I'll go by my top artists. My top artists on my Wrapped were Anais Mitchell, which I was the 0.1% top listener for, Hadestown, Original Broadway Company, Eva Noblezada, Reeve Carney, and Andre DeShields, which, if no one has recognized it by now, which I don't know who, most people wouldn't, these are all the cast and creative team of Hadestown, the musical on Broadway that has been able to withhold their title for Best Musical since Broadway was affected by the pandemic. And now it's just been the longest running musical, or the musical to hold the longest title of Best Musical. Back when we were in New York last December, it's a whole long story, but I ended up seeing Hadestown because, like, that's one of my all-time favorite musicals. I love the show. Love Eva Noblezada. She's bringing Filipino representation into Broadway and all that.
Yes.
I absolutely love this show. It's also very depressing.
So your music this year was depressing?
I think it goes, like, specifically this musical, I think ties in with the pandemic, because for this musical, it's all about, you know, how everyone gets affected by the seasons and the winds, and couples, like, trying really hard to stay together during a very difficult time, which I know is a thing happening in the pandemic. But yeah, this musical is pretty on board with the times. They have a song called Build the Wall, which is very on brand with a certain president's campaign and presidency. But it's a very beautiful show. The lyrics are very poetic. I even bought the lyric book, working on a song, listened to all the songs while reading the notes about each one. But just a little background in this musical, the Anais Mitchell, who wrote this musical, never had, like, written a Broadway musical before. This came from, like, very grassroots beginnings. literally the first, I guess, production of this was played in a barn like 10 plus years ago. And since then, they've just been having this production go through its different reincarnations over 10 plus years. And they finally make it on Broadway. And it's a best musical now.
Wow.
So,
what a success story.
It's a story of resilience and patience, because it takes 10 years to write a Broadway musical, which is totally deserved because 10 years takes a while. That's my Spotify Wrapped, and I was like, wow.
Oh.
No. I mean, that's my Spotify Wrapped top artist. So, like, you know, like when you go on your Spotify Wrapped and it's basically like an Insta story, you play through it. So they were like,
yes, I don't like
so
it.
they were like, oh, your 2020 started off with bang. And I was like, oh, like it started off with a bang. And then I kept looking at it. I was like, oh, no, it started off with bang, the song by AJR, which is a really good song. AJR is not really that weird for me. I listen to them a lot. I really like their music. The weird outlier in my playlist are my top 5 songs, because 3 of them are from Hadestown. One of them is like a prologue to an actual song, because I like hearing them go hand in hand. But it's the weird outlier is my number 2 song, which is Dancing in the Moonlight by Top Loader, but the 2001 remix.
Interesting.
But that's only because the reason that song is, I guess, there in the first place is because I used that song to kind of give me the vibes or what I was looking for my senior thesis film, which I'll go more into that in the future, that me and Madison made. But I was going for a very uplifting kind of vibe with the score for my short film. So that ended up being my number 2, because for some reason I listened to that song a lot while I was in pre-production, in production, editing it. So I guess
that's a lot of hours. So wait, how many minutes overall did you listen to music? Do you have that number?
I think it was about like 47,000.
Mine was 56,000, but I think part of it is because on the TV in my room here at my grandma's house, I can use the Spotify app. So a lot of times when I go to sleep, I'll just put it on a playlist and just let it run. And depending on how long the playlist is, like I have some really long playlists, it could still be playing when I wake up the next morning. So my 56,000 minutes is probably not the most truthful, but still.
Yeah, so at the end of it, I guess you could say my playlist is one of a theater kid, even though I wasn't really a theater kid throughout my life. I just really like musicals.
Was your top genre show tunes?
It was like show tunes.
That was like my third.
It was like show tunes and then like pop indie. And then not regular pop. She said pop. That's because I'd be listening to AJR, since that's like their genre. And then it would go in the subsect of like show tunes. It'd be like Broadway, and then it would also be like film soundtrack. And I'm like, it makes sense.
Oh yes, very fitting for us.
What's your? Oh, and you had asked this before, off camera, but like, what's your 69 song, or the song in the 69?
Oh yes, let's get into some fun song ass games, because they've been going on Tumblr the past couple days and they are very fun. My 69th song is London Boy by Taylor Swift, which, okay, I just have to say, since I brought that song up, like the Beatles and all their discography, you know what they never wrote? They never rhymed pubwee with rugby. That is genius. She said, I'm making a new word. It is pub, comma, wee, and it rhymes with rugby. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Well, good for you, London
boy. It's her boyfriend.
My 69th song, to no surprise, is a song from Hadestown. It's one of Reeve's songs that Reeve sings. It's If It's True. Yeah, it's also a very depressing song, because it was like, it's in the part of the story where his like love just turns away from him. She can't be with him, like that whole thing. That's sad.
Oh, what's your 100th song? Mine is Stupid with Love from Mean Girls the Musical.
My 100th song is Turning My Life Around from Anna and the Apocalypse, the Christmas zombie musical movie that
Oh,
yes, I
yes.
watched that like during the spooky Halloween season. I wasn't the biggest fan of it, but I really like that song.
Yes, we love that. Okay, and then the other one that a lot of people like to ask is what's your sixth song? The one that just did not make the
Oh.
cut for top five. Mine is Once in a Dream, which is by this artist called In the City, which like they were also like I don't know if you got the like one thing where it was like you're a trendsetter, you listen to this song before it hit whatever streams because I found this song from a animated YouTube series
Mm.
because the artist or whatever does the music for them, so then I just listened to it a lot and then I was a trendsetter because of it apparently. What about
My
you?
my sixth song is from the movie The Farewell. It's the
Oh,
song Come Healing. It's right when Aquafina's character and her family leaves the grandma in China after they had just lied to her the
oh,
whole time. And that song made my number six, so I think you can tell that I've just been sad throughout this whole year.
yeah. Oh my gosh. Wow. That's well, that's fitting for 2020, I
Yeah.
guess.
But I
2020
really like
vibes.
this cover of the song because like I think it's a religious song, and I was like, well, when I hear this song, it just makes me think of that scene, which is it's a really good scene. That whole movie's really good, but like it is a sad time for what we're doing now. But I have some happy songs. Like my song is "Bang!" Exclamation
Yeah,
point.
that's a pretty happy one. I don't know if Getaway Car constitutes as happy. I guess it's upbeat, but like the situation described in it is unfortunate, which I think that's just a recurring theme in a lot of Taylor Swift pop songs, but yeah, you know. Oh, here's another good question is what is a song and or artist that should be on your top 100 but didn't make the cut? Or you would
Oh.
think if you had been asked before it came out, what like if somebody had asked you what you think would be on there, was there something that you thought that didn't make the cut?
Oh, good question. Um,
Yeah.
hmm.
Yeah. Well, cuz mine when I saw this question on Tumblr, I was like, "Oh, mine would be Folklore because I thought I listened to Folklore a lot, the whole album when it like since it came out till like, you know, now. So, I was very surprised that not a single song from the entirety of Folklore made it onto my top
Hmm.
100. I was like, "Oh, I thought I listened to it a lot, but I guess I didn't spend as much time or whatever listening to it as I did with all the other songs."
Okay, got it. Actually, you know who's like I haven't seen a lot of. Well, one in I feel like talking about my Spotify rap has made me seem like I listen to just musicals and soundtracks all day long, which I don't. Um, well, the thing that surprised me is my number seven song, which is "Boy with Love" from BTS featuring Halsey, and I was like, how? I just against like the wishes of my sister because she's the one who's been playing BTS a lot in this apartment, so I've listened to them a lot. I started listening to BTS like just October, right? And I mean
Mhm.
that
Yes.
song is a bop for sure. But I don't think I've listened to it enough to reach number 7 in my top 100 songs.
Yeah, especially because that only would have given you like a month to
I
rack up
know, like
that
that
much playtime to
many.
get it to number seven.
If I had like songs that or artists that didn't make my top 100, I feel like it'd be like Lainey. I've listened to a lot of Lainey, which are also sad music.
Mm.
Um,
Yes.
Also Post Malone. Post Malone's Hollywood's
Ooh.
Bleeding soundtrack or soundtrack
Soundtrack.
album.
Okay, Film Kid.
Hollywood's Bleeding album didn't make the cut, and I was like, interesting. Well, the only song that actually made it was Circles, but like I enjoy that whole album, so I would have thought I would have seen more Post Malone in it. But I think it just adds to the
Mm.
conclusion that I just listened to a lot of sad songs this year.
Yeah, I don't know what my vibe is because like most of the Lover, like the album, made it onto my playlist, which is not a sad album. Like it's all about upbeat and
Pastel.
love. And then I have my yes pastel colors and all that. And then I just have my weird YA movie soundtrack songs. And then Mean Girls the musical. And then I don't know, just like some Paramore songs made it in. You know. I hope. Oh, from now on, from The Greatest Showman made it in.
That's nice.
That's a nice yeah. Let's go. That's a nice that song. Yeah, I feel like this is literally just stuff I was listening to like until May.
Yeah, it's what it seems like.
Because because most of the stuff on here I barely listen to now, or like have barely listened to recently, except for like the Taylor Swift stuff. So I'm kind of like, did I just really listen to that much music every single day for the first half of the year? Oh my god, Show Yourself from Frozen 2 is number 19. Like, what was happening? Like 6 months ago.
I didn't have any Frozen 2 songs popping up in my... Or what's the song? Into the Unknown didn't make your list?
I don't think so. Now I'm trying to... Oh, I typed it wrong. Let's see. Hello? Frozen. It can't even... Okay, my Control F isn't working. So far, all I've seen is Show Yourself. Oh, wait, no. Into the Unknown was 23. So they're 4 spaces apart.
Wow, good for you. Good for you on that.
Yeah. Ooh, what song got the number that is your age?
Oh, so I'm 23. So...
Do you have it on the web?
Oh, wait, here it is. Okay, I got it.
The web.
23.
The track.
Oh my god. So 23 is Deathbed. Do you know that song?
Yes, the 10-minute long song by I don't even know how to pronounce Reliant.
No. Deathbed, that TikTok song. That song on TikTok that got really big. I didn't know this was before I was on TikTok. Like I would listen to that song because I was like, oh, this is a kind of fun song. You know that was
Wait, I don't know if I know that one.
Hold on. The one, it's like with a girl who's like, I was like, don't stay awake for too long, don't.
Oh, that song? That's called Deathbed? Yeah. Oh my god. I really just, also, can I just say that just made me out myself as somebody who listened to emo Christian music at one point in my life. Because that's the song I was thinking of.
No, it's that song. I think that was my entry point into TikTok, to be honest. But it makes sense why that's my 23 song, because literally, like, I'm pretty sure a good chunk of my life in quarantine is me just watching TikToks.
Well, my 22 song, which I will be turning 23 in like 2 weeks, then I'll be Into the Unknown. But for now, my 22 song is Youth by Daughter, which is like the AMV song. If you are in any fandom at all, listen to this song and you can probably project it onto one of your favorite characters. It's angsty.
These are both very colorful Spotify Wrapped. But we are way over time now.
Yeah. Special episode. Yes.
I think that was a pretty big headache, don't you?
Yeah, I would call my Wrapped playlist a headache.
Oh, a pineapple headache, you could say.
I could say. I don't know if any of it has pineapple vibes, but it has headache vibes.
I guess we'll head off now. It's been too long. I need to go to sleep.
Yeah.
It's
also like 12:39 a.m.
It's past my bedtime, so it's time for me to go to sleep.
Oh. Questuana Sweepy.
Okay, well, thanks for listening to this episode of Pineapple Headache. Anything else you want to say, Madison?
Yeah. Oh, follow us on Tumblr. I made us a blog. I am using a stock photo of a woman holding a pineapple as the icon. Our URL is Pineapple Headache Podcast. There might be a dash. I don't remember. I think it's just one word, though. There is one post, and it is the link to our first episode, so definitely come follow us. I promise I won't stalk your blog if you are someone I know in real life, and then I'll be like, oh, you have a Tumblr? I promise I won't do that. Maybe.
Okay. Thank you for that. Thanks for listening, everyone. We will see you at the next
Headache.